Ah, the beauty of independence. It terrifies them, doesn't it? You walk into the room, and their eyes follow you not out of admiration. No, it's fear, cloaked in envy, disguised as hate. They hate you because you've stripped away the one thing they rely on, control. You don't bow, you don't break, you don't beg. And oh, how that burns them. They've built their fragile little world on a foundation of dependence. Dependence on their approval, dependence on their validation, dependence on their rules. But you shattered their game. You don't need their applause to feel alive. You don't need their permission to breathe. You don't crave their spotlight, their fake smiles, their shallow nods. That's why they hate you. Because deep down, they know they could never survive without the world's approval. They could never wake up without someone patting them on the back. They're slaves to opinions, prisoners of perception, and you're free. Free to live, free to rise, free to walk away from everything they think matters. Freedom, it's a scary word for them, isn't it? Freedom means responsibility. It means owning every choice, every mistake, every triumph. But they don't want that. No, they'd rather chain themselves to the comfort of the crowd, the safety of sameness. And when they see you breaking away from their herd, it terrifies them. It makes them feel small, insignificant, powerless. And in their powerlessness, they lash out. You've heard it, haven't you? The whispers, the smirks, the laughter behind your back. Who does he think he is? She'll never make it. They call you arrogant, delusional, selfish. But here's the truth, they're not laughing because they think you're a fool. They're laughing because they're scared. Scared that you'll prove them wrong. Scared that you'll show them what they could have been if they'd only dared to try. You see, hate is just fear wearing a mask. They hate you because you remind them of everything they're too afraid to become. You remind them of the risks they didn't take, the dreams they buried, the courage they never found. You're a mirror reflecting their regrets, and they can't stand it. So they'll try to break you, drag you down, silence your voice. But you don't bend to their hate. You don't shrink under their judgment. You don't stop because of their fear. No, you take that hate and you use it. You let it fuel your fire, sharpen your focus, strengthen your resolve. Their hate becomes your weapon. Their doubts your motivation. And here's the thing they'll never understand, you're not fighting them. No, they're not even on your radar. You're fighting for yourself, for your vision, for your dreams. You're building something they can't comprehend, a life that's yours, truly yours. Let them talk. Let them hate. Every sneer, every insult, every jab is proof that you're doing something right. Because people don't hate what's ordinary. They hate what's extraordinary. They hate what challenges them, what forces them to look at their own mediocrity. And you're extraordinary. Not because of what you have, but because of who you are. You don't need their validation, their approval, their love. You've found something far more powerful, self-respect. You've learned to stand alone, to face the storm without flinching. You're dangerous to them because you've discovered the secret they'll never know. The secret that freedom isn't given, it's taken. And you've taken it. You've claimed it. You've built it with your own two hands, brick by brick, battle by battle. Oh, they'll keep hating, all right. They'll try to tear you down, sabotage your success, tarnish your name. But let them waste their energy, their time, their lives. Because while they're busy hating, you're busy growing. While they're plotting your downfall, you're climbing higher. And one day, when they look up and see you standing at the top, they'll realize the truth. They'll realize that their hate was never about you, it was about them. It was about their fears, their insecurities, their failures. And by then, it'll be too late for them. Because you'll be untouchable. You'll have built a life so strong, so unshakable, that their hate will bounce off you like rain on stone. You'll look down at them, not with anger, not with pity, but with indifference, because you've outgrown them. You've outgrown their games, their lies, their hate. So keep going. Keep rising. Keep being the person they're too afraid to be. Let their hate fuel your fire, but don't let it consume you. You're bigger than that, stronger than that. You're not here to fight them, you're here to rise above them. Because in the end, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about the life you're creating, the dreams you're chasing, the person you're becoming. And that, my friend, is something they can never take away. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? They can't take away your soul. They can't touch your will. They can hate you. They can curse you. They can even throw stones at you, but they will never break you. Why? Because you've already been through worse. You've already stood at the edge, looked into the abyss, and dared it to swallow you whole. What they don't understand is that your strength isn't just a shield, it's a weapon. You've carved it out of pain, out of rejection, out of loneliness. Every scar, every bruise, every tear has made you sharper, harder, and more unyielding. They think they're fighting you, but they're not. They're fighting a force they'll never comprehend. You are the storm. You are the earthquake that shakes their fragile little world. And the best part, you didn't ask for their permission. You didn't wait for their approval. You took your power back piece by piece, moment by moment. And now they can't stand it. Because here's the truth. People hate what they can't control. They hate what they can't predict, what they can't manipulate. You're a wild card, a force of nature, a hurricane in human form. They look at you and they see freedom. They see defiance. They see everything they wish they could be but never had the courage to become. And that's why they'll always hate you. Not because you're wrong, but because you're right. Not because you're weak, but because you're strong. Not because you need them, but because you've shown the world that you don't. So let them hate. Let them rage. Let them throw their stones and spit their venom. Because every step you take, every victory you claim, every battle you win is a testament to your strength. You are the proof that freedom is possible, that independence is achievable, that resilience is unstoppable. And as you walk your path, remember this: their hate isn't your burden to carry. It's their prison to live in. You've set yourself free. You've broken the chains, shattered the expectations, and risen above the noise. You've shown the world what it means to be truly alive. So keep walking. Keep climbing. Keep proving to yourself, not to them, but to yourself, that you're worth it, that your dreams are worth it, that your life is worth it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about the legacy you're building, the impact you're making, the truth you're living. And that, my friend, is something no one can ever take away. Let them hate. You'll keep rising. Let them doubt. You'll keep proving. Let them fade. You'll keep shining. Because you don't need them, you never did. And that's why you'll always win. You'll always win because you've made peace with the only person who truly matters you. You've stopped chasing their validation, their applause, their acceptance. Instead, you've built a fortress within yourself, a place they can't invade, a sanctuary they can't touch. And that terrifies them, doesn't it? Because people thrive on control. They want to shape you, mold you, bend you to their will. But you're untamed. You've shattered their illusions, burned their expectations to the ground, and risen from the ashes as something they could never anticipate, a self-made legend. And legends don't bow. Legends don't cower. Legends don't compromise their essence to make others comfortable. You've learned that the hard way, haven't you? Through the whispers behind your back, the betrayals that cut deep, the fake smiles that masked sharp daggers, they all tried to break you. And yet here you are, unbroken. The secret is simple, really. You stopped waiting for permission to live. You stopped asking for a seat at their table. You built your own. And when they sneer, when they ridicule, when they scoff at your audacity, you just smile. Because deep down, you know they're not angry at you. They're angry at themselves. They're angry because your courage reminds them of their cowardice. Your independence reminds them of their chains. Your victories remind them of their failures. They hate you, not for who you are, but for what you represent: freedom, strength, possibility. And the more they hate, the more you grow. Their hate is fuel. Their doubt is firewood. Their rejection is a spark. You've learned to thrive on the very things that were meant to destroy you. You've turned their weapons into your armor, their insults into your anthem, their disdain into your drive. So let them talk. Let them gossip. Let them spew their venom into the wind. Because while they're busy plotting your downfall, you're out there living, building, creating, succeeding. You've left them behind, and they can't stand it. But that's not your problem, is it? You've got bigger battles to fight, bigger dreams to chase, bigger mountains to climb. Their hate is just noise, a faint echo in the background of your symphony. And you're the composer, the conductor, the entire orchestra. Because you've embraced the truth they fear the most, you don't need them. You never did. Your worth isn't tied to their opinions. Your happiness isn't dependent on their approval. Your success isn't measured by their applause. You've written your own story, carved your own path, and forged your own destiny. And in doing so, you've become unstoppable. So stand tall, walk proud, live boldly, and when they ask, how do you do it? How do you keep going? Just smile. Because the answer is simple: you've embraced the truth. You've accepted the pain. You've risen above the hate. And now you're free. Free, what a dangerous word, isn't it? It terrifies them because they'll never understand it. They're trapped in their own cages built of fear, of doubt, of the desperate need for acceptance. And you've broken out. You've torn through the bars they swore were unbreakable. Freedom isn't just about walking away from them, it's about walking toward yourself. It's about waking up every day and choosing to own your life, your choices, your consequences. It's about realizing that everything you've ever needed has always been inside of you. But let's not sugarcoat it. Freedom is lonely, isn't it? It's a path few are brave enough to walk. The higher you climb, the fewer people you'll see around you. And that's the price, isn't it? The price of greatness. The price of choosing yourself over them. They'll call you selfish. They'll call you cold. They'll say you've changed. And you'll smile, won't you? Because that's the point: you have changed. You've grown. You've shed the parts of yourself that no longer served you. You've evolved into something they can't define, something they can't control. And that scares them. Because deep down they wish they had your strength. They wish they could break free too, but they won't. They'll cling to their cages, their comfort zones, their illusions of safety. And they'll hate you for showing them what's possible. But don't let their hate dim your light. Don't let their fear become your burden. Keep moving forward. Keep rising higher. Keep proving, not to them, but to yourself, that you are capable of more than they could ever imagine. Because this journey, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's about taking every scar, every betrayal, every ounce of pain, and turning it into power. So let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them seethe. While they cling to their cages, you're out there flying. And that is your ultimate revenge. Not hate, not anger, just success. Pure, undeniable, unstoppable success. And when they ask how you did it, when they finally stop hating long enough to see your brilliance, you'll know the truth. You didn't do it to prove them wrong. You did it to prove yourself right. And that is all that matters. They'll never understand, will they? The silence you embraced, the nights you spent battling your own demons, the mornings you woke up tired but determined. Because quitting wasn't an option. They think it's luck. They think it's just timing. But you know the truth, it was you all along. You clawed your way out of the darkness they left you in. You built yourself from the shattered pieces they thought would break you forever. And now you stand taller, stronger, unshakable. They hate that, don't they? Because they can't take credit for you anymore. But here's the irony: they were never supposed to. You didn't need them to save you. You didn't need them to believe in you. They hate you because you don't fit into their narrative anymore. You don't play by their rules. And that terrifies them. Let them hate. Let them drown in their bitterness. You've got no time for that. You're too busy building, creating, thriving. You've learned to let their noise fade into the background because it's just that noise. And you're the music. Here's the thing: their hate is their problem, not yours. It's a reflection of their own insecurities, their own failures, their own inability to step out of the shadows. Don't let their projections weigh you down. You've got wings now, don't let anyone clip them. Because you've realized something powerful, haven't you? The only person you've ever needed is the one staring back at you in the mirror. That's your ally. That's your partner. That's your home. Everyone else? They're just visitors, temporary, fleeting, replaceable. And when you truly understand that, their opinions lose all power. Their judgment? Irrelevant. Their validation? Unnecessary. You've outgrown them. You've outgrown their small minds, their shallow expectations, their limited vision. So fly higher. Burn brighter. Let them hate, let them envy. Let them wonder. Because in the end, you've already won. You won the moment you stopped needing their approval. You won the moment you realized your worth. You won the moment you chose you. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles and the noise fades, you'll be the one left standing. Not because you fought them, but because you fought for yourself. And that is the greatest victory of all. Let them keep watching. Let them keep seething. Their hate fuels you, doesn't it? Not because you need it, but because it confirms what you've always known: you're a force they can't control. They don't hate you because you're weak. No, they hate you because you remind them of their own weakness. You're a mirror they can't stand to look at. You've walked through fire. You felt the burn, the scars still etched into your soul, but you didn't let it consume you. You rose from it, stronger, wiser, untouchable. That's what they can't stand: the way you wear your pain like armor. The way you've turned every insult, every rejection, every betrayal into fuel. They expected you to beg, to crawl back, to need them. But you showed them something they didn't expect: independence, resilience, a power that doesn't crumble under their weight. You showed them what it means to not just survive, but to thrive in the face of their doubt. And now they watch in silence, biting their tongues, choking on their own regret, because they know deep down they had the chance to walk beside you, but they chose to stand against you, and now they're left in your shadow. The truth is, they were never meant to stay. People who drain you, people who doubt you, they're temporary. Their purpose was to teach you, to test you, to push you. And when they were done, they left, or you left. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you kept going. Alone, if you had to. Because being alone, that's where you found your strength. That's where you found your purpose. That's where you found you. And that's why they'll never understand. They've always needed a crowd, an audience, someone to validate them. But you've learned to stand alone, to walk alone, to win alone. So let them keep hating. Let them keep talking. Their words are weightless. Their opinions are meaningless. You've got a path to walk, and it doesn't include them. Keep moving, keep building, keep proving them wrong, not for them, but for yourself. Because at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about the legacy you're building, the person you're becoming, the battles you're winning. And trust me, you're winning. Every step you take, every goal you crush, every time you refuse to give up, you're winning. And someday, when they look back, they'll realize what they lost. They'll realize what they could have been a part of. But by then, it'll be too late. You'll be too far ahead, too high above, too untouchable. And they'll be left with nothing but their own regrets. So keep going. Keep fighting. Keep rising. The world is yours to conquer. And the hate, it's just background noise in your symphony of triumph. They'll tell stories about you one day, you know. Not because they cared, but because you left them with no choice. Legends are born in silence, in struggle, in solitude. And when you rise, they'll have no option but to watch. Watch as the person they doubted, belittled, and dismissed becomes the very thing they feared unstoppable. See, they hate you because you've done something they could never do. You've faced yourself. The broken parts, the doubts, the insecurities, you didn't run from them. You embraced them. You wrestled with them. You made them your allies. That's why they'll never understand. They've spent their lives hiding behind masks, pretending to be someone they're not, while you tore yours off and said, "Here I am. Take it or leave it." They wanted you to crumble, to fold under the weight of their opinions, their expectations. But instead, you built yourself brick by brick. Every scar became a cornerstone. Every tear watered the foundation. And now you're a fortress, impenetrable, indestructible. But here's the thing they don't realize: you never needed their approval. You never needed their applause, their support, their validation. What you needed was the fire, the burning, relentless fire inside you that refused to be extinguished. That's what kept you going when the world turned its back. That's what made you dangerous. And now, you're not just surviving, you're thriving. Not because it was easy, but because you refused to quit. Because you refused to let their hate define you. You turned their rejection into fuel, their doubt into motivation, their betrayal into wisdom. You didn't just prove them wrong, you proved yourself right. So let them hate. Let them whisper. Let them watch. Because every step you take, every move you make, every dream you turn into reality is a reminder that you don't need them. Never did. Never will. The journey isn't over. It never is. But here's the beauty of it. You don't need anyone to walk it with you. You've become your own light, your own guide, your own reason to keep going. And that's the kind of strength they'll never understand. So stand tall. Stand alone if you have to. The world wasn't built for the weak, and neither were you. Keep walking. Keep fighting. Keep proving them wrong. Not for them, but for you. Always for you. And here's the truth. They'll never admit their hate. Their envy, it's admiration in disguise. They hate you because you remind them of what they could have been, of the risks they didn't take, of the strength they never found. Every time they see you rise, it burns them from the inside because it reflects their own failure to step into their potential. And that's their burden to carry, not yours. You didn't choose this path because it was easy. You chose it because it was necessary. Because staying the same, staying small, staying silent, that wasn't an option. Change is brutal. Growth is painful. But stagnation? Stagnation is death. So you embrace the chaos. You embrace the discomfort. You let the pain mold you into something they can't break. Let them hate. Let them mock. Let them try to tear you down. It's laughable, isn't it? Because while they waste their energy throwing stones, you're busy building. Building a life, a purpose, a legacy. They can't see past their own fear, but you see the horizon. You see the bigger picture. You see what they can't even imagine. And here's the irony, they'll need you one day. Oh yes, the same people who doubted you, ridiculed you, dismissed you, they'll come running when they see what you've become. They'll want a piece of your success, a seat at your table, a spot in your story. But by then, you'll have outgrown them. You'll have built a world where their presence is neither required nor welcome. So keep going. Keep climbing. Keep proving, not to them, but to yourself, that you're capable of more than anyone ever believed. The road ahead isn't smooth, but it's yours. Every stumble, every fall, every moment of doubt, it's all part of the process. It's all shaping you into the force they'll never be able to ignore. And when you reach the top, when you look back at everything you've overcome, you'll realize something profound. It was never about them. It was always about you. Your resilience, your grit, your refusal to be anything less than extraordinary. So let them hate. Let them talk. Let them watch. Because while they're stuck in the shadows, you're shining brighter than ever. And when the dust settles, when the noise dies down, you'll stand there in silence, untouched, unshaken, unstoppable. Their opinions? Just echoes. Their insults? Just whispers lost in the wind. Because you've built something they can't tear down yourself. A version of you that no one can break. A version of you that thrives in the fire, that laughs at the storm, that walks alone if necessary, but never, ever retreats. They hate you because you don't need them. But here's the truth, they needed you. They needed your light to justify their darkness. They needed your strength to mask their weakness. And now that you've moved beyond them, they're left facing the one thing they fear most: themselves. That's why they lash out. That's why they try to pull you back. Because your freedom is a mirror, and it terrifies them. But you've learned by now, haven't you? To let their fear stay theirs. To let their hate fuel your fire, instead of extinguishing it. You've learned that their rejection is nothing more than redirection, pushing you further into the path you were meant to walk. Alone, perhaps, but not lonely. Because you've discovered something they'll never understand: the power of standing on your own. And here's the final twist: the hate they carry for you, it will destroy them long before it ever touches you. It's a poison they drink, hoping you'll suffer, never realizing it's eating them alive. You, on the other hand, are untouchable. Because you've learned to turn pain into strength, rejection into power, solitude into clarity. So go ahead, rise. Not in spite of their hate, but because of it. Rise knowing that every step forward is a step away from the mediocrity they chose. Rise knowing that the only person you'll ever need is the one staring back at you in the mirror. And when they look at you, standing tall, standing proud, they'll finally realize you were never the one who needed them. It was always the other way around. And in that moment, you'll smile not out of spite, but because you finally understood the truth. Their hate was never about you. It was always about them. And now, as you stand at the peak of everything you've built, you can let it go. Let it all go. Because you've won. Not by their rules, but by your own. And that's the kind of victory they'll never comprehend. As you stand tall, on the foundation of your own making, you'll see the world through a different lens. A lens that no longer carries the weight of their doubts, their expectations, their lies. All of that, their hate, their jealousy, their attempts to knock you down, it becomes nothing. You've moved beyond it, transcended it. And now, with nothing but the purity of your purpose guiding you, you're unstoppable. They'll keep trying to pull you down, of course. It's what they do best. But the more they push, the higher you soar. They may attempt to bind you with their chains of negativity, but you've learned to slip through them with ease. Every insult, every sneer, every comment, it only feeds your hunger for more. More growth, more power, more victory. They've created a narrative in their minds, one where you're the villain, the outsider, the person who doesn't belong. But they've never understood the truth. You've never been the villain in your own story. You've been the hero. You've been the one who fought against the tide, who stood tall when everyone else cowered. You've been the one who refused to follow their path, to live according to their rules. You've been the one who carved your own destiny, regardless of what anyone else said. Now, when they look at you, they see something they can't comprehend, a force that doesn't bend, a force that doesn't break. And as they continue to watch you rise, their hate will only grow. They'll hate the way you live without their approval. They'll hate the way you chase your own dreams, your own ambitions, regardless of what they think. They'll hate the fact that you're thriving without them. But in the end, it won't matter. Because as you rise, as you walk this journey alone, you'll realize that you don't need their validation. You never did. You only needed the courage to stand up for yourself, to believe in your own potential, to trust that you could go further than they ever thought possible. And once you realize that, once you understand that all you ever needed was you, nothing will ever stand in your way again. Let them hate. Let them criticize. Let them question your every move. It's a reflection of their insecurities, not yours. And as they watch you, as they wonder how you keep going, keep rising, you'll simply smile. Smile because you know something they'll never understand. The power of being free. The power of being yourself. The power of knowing that you don't need anyone but yourself to succeed. So rise, not to prove them wrong, but to prove something to yourself. Prove that you have everything it takes to conquer, to thrive, to build your own empire. Prove that you don't need them, that you never did, and that you're stronger than any obstacle they throw in your path. And when you do, you'll finally realize the truth: they never had the power to stop you. They never could. It was always you. Always. And when you look back, when you see the chaos they created, you'll laugh. Because in the end, their hate was the fuel for your fire. And without it, you would have never been able to soar this high. When you stand at the peak, looking down at the world you've created, you'll understand that every battle, every struggle, every tear you shed was a setback. It was a step forward. Each moment of doubt, each whisper of defeat, was the fuel that ignited the strength within you. The hate they threw at you, it was a gift in disguise, a twisted little offering that shaped you into something they could never be. It sharpened you, honed your will, and prepared you for the journey ahead. But here's the catch: their hate, their efforts to break you, it doesn't matter anymore. You've reached a place where you can't be touched, where their whispers can't hurt you, because you don't need them. You've outgrown them. And now, as you rise higher, they can't even see you anymore. They're too far behind, stuck in their own web of bitterness and fear, while you stand tall, unshaken, unwavering, unstoppable. So don't let them pull you back into the muck. Don't let them sink you into their pit of resentment. They may still try desperately, frantically, but it won't work. You've transcended their reach. Their words? Meaningless. Their doubts? Unheard. Their attempts to pull you back down into their world of misery and mediocrity? Futile. You're not the person they think you are. You're not the victim, the broken one, the outcast. No. You are the one who rises above it all. You are the one who has learned to embrace the pain, to welcome the darkness, to use it as a ladder to climb higher, faster, further than they ever imagined. And as you climb, you'll realize something profound. You're not alone. Not really. Because every step you take, every victory you claim, there will be those who follow. There will be others who see your strength, your resilience, your power, and they will be drawn to it. They will see the way you carry yourself, the way you move through life unshaken, and they will know that they too can rise. They too can become something more than the world tried to make them. You're not just fighting for yourself anymore. No. You're leading the way. You're showing them that the world doesn't define you. You define the world. You're proving that no matter how much they hate, no matter how hard they try to break you, you cannot be stopped. And when they look at you now, when they see how far you've come, they'll finally understand. They'll see the truth. They refuse to believe you were never the weak one. You were never the one who needed saving. You were the one who did the saving. You were the one who found the strength within yourself to break free from their chains, to rise up, to become unstoppable. So laugh at their hate. Laugh at their attempts to pull you down. Because you know something they don't. They were never the ones with the power. You always were. And now they'll never be able to take it from you.